Experiencing an emergency can be a stressful situation no matter where you are. Hopefully, you'll never face them. However, it is crucial to learn about how the emergency services in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria work, and to be prepared with some important phrases if you ever find yourself in these situations. Hi, my name is Salome, in case we haven't met yet, and this channel, Speak Fluent German, is dedicated to teaching practical German for everyday life in plain English. So if that is the kind of content you need, then make sure to hit subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Alright, so let's get started with basic emergency vocabulary that are universally used across the German-speaking countries. Knowing these can help you with quickly recognizing emergency situations and seeking help. So if you are witnessing a situation of emergency or you find yourself in such a situation, the best way to draw attention to you is with the word Hilfe. And in case of a fire, you'll need to shout Feuer. And if you want to offer your help to someone or ask if you can help, you'd say, kann ich helfen? Can I help? Or, brauchen Sie Hilfe? Do you need help? If you want to ask if there is a doctor available, you can shout, gibt es hier einen Arzt? The next one would be to tell people to call the emergency services. So in case of fires, accidents, life-threatening incidents, or medical emergencies, you can contact the fire department or emergency medical services, which both can be reached at the same number, which is 112. 112. If you urgently need the police in Germany, the number you need is 110, also 110. In Switzerland, you'll need to call 144, also 144 for the ambulance, and 117, 117 for the police. And in Austria, it's also 144 for the ambulance, also 144, and 133 for the police, 133. If you're struggling with remembering all of these numbers, just remember that 112 is the emergency number Europe-wide, also rufen Sie die 112. Call 112. If there is a medical emergency and you want to be more specific, you can also say, rufen Sie einen Krankenwagen. Der Krankenwagen is the general term for the ambulance. Or you can also say, rufen Sie den Rettungsdienst. Der Rettungsdienst is the emergency rescue service. So if there is a traffic accident or any medical emergency, you would refer to der Rettungsdienst. They mostly come with a Rettungssanitäter, a rescue paramedic, und der Notarzt, an emergency doctor. In case of a fire, you would need to ask for die Feuerwehr, which is the fire department. Rufen Sie die Feuerwehr. And if you're in need of the police, you'll shout, rufen Sie die Polizei. In Germany, you would call the police if you need help because you feel threatened or in danger or are exposed to a criminal offense that requires police intervention, like for example, a theft. So if something has been stolen from you, you'll need the phrase, ich möchte einen Diebstahl melden. I want to report a theft. And you'll also need the phrase, blank wurde gestohlen. So whatever it was stolen. Zum Beispiel, mein Handy wurde gestohlen. Mein Portemonnaie wurde gestohlen. By the way, there are lots of different synonyms that pop up in daily life for the word wallet. So you can also say der Geldbeutel, die Geldbörse, or die Brieftasche. Don't ask me why we have so many words for one thing and that are all equally as common. I personally prefer to say das Portemonnaie or der Geldbeutel most of the time. In case of a criminal offense, you might also find these phrases helpful. Ich möchte eine Körperverletzung melden. I want to report an assault. Ich möchte einen Vandalismus melden. I want to report vandalism. Ich möchte einen Betrug melden. I want to report a fraud. Oder mein Auto wurde aufgebrochen. My car was broken into. Es wurde in mein Haus eingebrochen. My house was broken into. Now here you might be wondering why we use the prefix auf for the car and ein for the house. Aufbrechen, or in the past tense aufgebrochen, actually means to break open. So in case of a car, we normally want to describe that it was opened. And for the house or the apartment, you'll say that someone has broken into it. So einbrechen or eingebrochen in the past tense. Now, if you're the one to call the emergency, you'll need to answer a couple of questions, oftentimes referred to as the 5 Ws or the 5 Ws, because all of the question words in German actually start with a W. So let's break these down. The first question you'll need to answer is Wer ruft an? Who is calling? To answer this question, you'll need your name and your phone number so they can call you back in case of any further questions. I've actually made a whole video on the numbers here that you can check out next if you need to learn and practice them. Next, they will ask you for the location. Wo ist das Ereignis? So, where is the incident? To answer this question, you'll need to give the address or describe the location. Like for example, am Bahnhof, auf dem Marktplatz, auf dem Kirchplatz, in der Stadtmitte, in der Hauptstraße oder in der Maximilianstraße. I also made a whole video about how to give directions in German, so that is going to be really helpful to give you even more details about your location. But to answer this question effectively, also look around or look out for any reference points that you can give them, any particular building, or check the street name and the house number that you're located at. Now next, they will ask about what happened, and for that you'll need the verb passieren, which means to happen. Was ist passiert? Or sometimes they might also ask, können Sie beschreiben, was passiert ist? Can you describe what happened? So here are some phrases that you might need to give more details about the situation. Es gab einen Unfall. Or if you want to make it more specific about a car crash, you can say, es gab einen Autounfall. Or es gab einen Verkehrsunfall, which means there was a traffic accident. That would refer to any kind of accident that happened during traffic. So that also includes accidents with a bus, motorcycle, or a bicycle, for example. In case of a fire, you would say, da ist ein Feuer. Or hier ist ein Feuer. Da ist ein Feuer im Hotel. Oder da ist ein Feuer im Büro. If someone fainted, you'll need the term ohnmächtig. Zum Beispiel, der Mann, die Frau, das Kind ist ohnmächtig. Er oder sie bewegt sich nicht. Er oder sie hat einen Herzinfarkt, einen Schlaganfall, eine allergische Reaktion. The last question is usually about the number of people affected by the incident. Wie viele Betroffene gibt es? How many affected people are there? A possible answer could be, es gibt 2 betroffene Personen. Sie sind 35 und 42 Jahre alt. And finally, the last W stands for warten auf Rückfragen. Wait for them to ask any further questions about the situation. It could also be a very useful exercise to head over to DeepL and create a set of vocabulary and phrases for these kind of situations, especially if you or someone in your family has a specific illness or allergies. Just being really well prepared for these kind of situations is going to be super helpful, and you can keep that list on your phone ready to pull out whenever you need it. Of course, if you're hitting an absolute dead end with your German skills, you can also ask for an English translator. Ich brauche einen englischen Übersetzer. So I hope you have found today's lesson helpful. Make sure to send it to any of your friends or family members that you think could benefit from today's lesson. And I'll be back next week with hopefully a more joyful topic. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!